What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Good morning, good morning. Today's message is going to be straight to the point. I wanted to talk about, everything that's going on in the news, people's conversations, the market crashing, right? The recession and etc., right? Listen, a personal opinion, right? Being that I've been through this before and I made a lot of mistakes. Made a lot of mistakes back in 2007 that I wish I could correct. The reality is you can't. You either were prepared or you weren't prepared. And I'm gonna tell you right now, most of the people, at least that I knew, were not prepared. Most of us were listening to the news, having faith in our government, that there wouldn't be a market crash and there wouldn't be this, there wouldn't be that. And at the end of the day, it crashed and it crashed bad. So a couple mistakes that I made and a couple things that I want to share with you. If you're a licensed real estate agent, you're somebody who's active in the business, couple things that you're going to want to watch out for. Number one is your spending, right? You got to be very, very cautious in the spending that you are doing right now, right? Remember, when the market shifts, lower transactions, lower commissions, you're not going to be able to keep up with the amount of commissions and expenses that you have now because they're no longer going to match, right? Expenses are up here, your commission is over here, right? Your income, right? What's going to happen is what? Boom, income and prices go down, and so does your commission and your expenses should go down. But a lot of us are maybe stuck with the big mortgage or a big, car payment or credit cards or whatever the case is. And therefore, we're going to run into a big, big problem. So the faster you start alleviating some of that debt, get rid of it, be prepared, get rid of it as soon as possible. Number two, you also have to have cash money in hand. It's one of the most important things that I think I wish, I did have money saved up, right? 2007, I had a lot of money saved up. The issue was that when the market crashed, me and my brother, we kind of got bored, right? There's nothing going on. So what we ended up doing is opening up a gym. And I think I've shared this story a couple times with you guys. We ended up opening up a gym and we spent a lot of money, a lot of time for an investment that was not bringing us anything back, right? It was horrible. It was a horrible experience and it was a big, big mistake that I wish I would have known, right? So number three, another thing that I also learned from that market to this market is that during this time, during this little gray area that we're going to go through, because it's going to shift here pretty soon, was the eating out as much, right? We're used to spending money on cleaners, clothing and food on the streets, restaurants and stuff like that. Bring that stuff down. Bring all that stuff down, right? Right now, you're gonna have to be on cautious mode, right? On not being enticed to buying a car, not being enticed to obviously buying a house, right? Not being enticed to spending that extra money, right? Maybe cooking at home is gonna be more cooking at home. It's gonna be better for you, right? And number four, which I think is gonna be the most important lesson for you and me that I learned that time, is have a mentor, have someone that has gone through that phase before to be able to mentor you through the process. And listen, many mentors, even such as myself, I don't charge my agents in my company to mentor them. I don't charge them anything to help them, make money by investment properties and stuff like that, assess the situations, right? So you shouldn't be paying for that, right? You should have mentors. You should have people that you know in the business that can help you, because I think that's going to be one of the biggest factors is how do we get through this process if you've never gone through it before, right? So find someone that has gone through it. But I think that if you can stick to these three things, I think these are going to be very valuable for you, because we are going to be going into a market change. It's already changing, right? That doesn't mean that there's not going to be any more business, but what happened in 2007 and 2008 was that I don't recall the exact number, but I think it was 60% of real estate agents went completely out of the business, which leaves, only the strong survive, right? But obviously, there's also less transactions. A lot of agents, a lot of transactions. Less agents, less transactions. So the problem doesn't change, right? The problem doesn't change. But you do have to have a game plan in place. And I think that was the biggest mistake that I made. I didn't have a game plan. It was very, very, unfortunate. It was one of the worst experiences of my life, but I learned so much from it. The other thing, which maybe could be a fit point, is have some sort of residual income coming in. Because if you don't have some sort of residual income, you may potentially have to be that person that has to go get a job, right? Because I was almost there. I was to that point. that I almost had to go get a job. The only reason I didn't get a job, even though I wasn't, making any money at the gym and I wasn't making any money from real estate, I got into BPOs, broker price opinions, and I started doing a lot of those. In fact, my brother Ricardo had a big team because he was doing his own thing. He had a big team, one person taking photos, the other person running comms, the other person getting the properties, the clicking to get your BPOs assignments assigned to you. And he was doing very well at that, but still was not enough to cover our expenses that we had before. So I ended up having to short sell my house, getting rid of that debt. And even then, I couldn't even pay a 1-bedroom, 1-bath apartment, so I was struggling with that. Nonetheless, at the end of the day, we came out ahead. We learned a lot from it. And I think that if I would have had that $500,000, coming back into the market back in 2009 and 2010, it would have been, it would have been a game changer, right? The word that they use a lot, right? The game changer, right? Yeah, it would have definitely put me in a much, much more higher position as far as, getting on my feet a lot quicker. Nonetheless, it's still a problem, and it's a problem you're going to have to overcome, right? And no matter what. So prepare for those, man. Use some of these pointers. Use that to your advantage, right? Think about it. Pay attention to it because it's going to happen whether you like it or don't happen. It doesn't matter what the news says. It doesn't matter what he or she says. There has to be change. You and I both know, especially if you're a real estate agent, the market has been nuts. It's been crazy, right? Rental prices are super crazy. And people are saying, well, when the market shifts and the homes get foreclosed on, that's going to ease up the rental. No, it doesn't. It does not. The problem is that kids are growing up, they need to move into their own house, and now they're being stuck at their parents' house. So the inventory is the problem. It's not that someone got foreclosed on, because when one person gets foreclosed on, whoever renter or owner has to move out, they have to go rent somewhere else. They got to go find. The issue is that there's no properties for rent, right? Because they have to move out of their house. The new buyer that was renting before has to go here. So all they do is just basically replace each other, right? The reality is that inventory is a problem. Until we fix the inventory issue, we're not going to have a market that's going to be more stable. And I think that's going to be the biggest problem. So keep an eye on that. Pay attention to the stock market. Keep your eyes open because we're getting there, and we're going to be there pretty quick. I'll see you guys on the next one. Hope you guys take some value from this. If you have any questions or any comments, please drop us a line. Please make sure to subscribe and like my channel. I want to build this up, and I want to give out as much information as I can for free, and I'm going to do this as consistently as possible, right? Bringing all this value to you guys. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care. Have a great weekend.